Hey guys, it's Mary and welcome back to Study Journey. Welcome back to the Python series. This is episode 3 of the Recursion Series. In today's episode, we're going to be doing the second type of sorting, which is bubble sort. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So in the previous episode, we talked about how to do selection sorting, and we also use recursion for that. So in today's episode, we're going to do a second type of sorting method, which is called bubble sort. And we're going to be talking about what it is, some examples, and then actually writing code for bubble sort. So first of all, what is it? It is just a simple sorting algorithm that repeatedly steps through the list, compares adjacent elements, and then swap them if they're in the wrong order. In the end, it should be a list in ascending order, so it should go from the smallest to the biggest number. So for example, in the first time, we're just going to be switching the one next to it. So we're going to be comparing the first and second element. If the second element is smaller, then we're going to put it in the beginning. And then we keep on doing that to the end. And then this is what we get at the end. As we can see, some of it is still not in order. So we're going to go through the loop again. And then we swap. Some of them that are already in order, we don't have to swap. And then when we see that there is a time that we don't swap any of them, then we know that it is right. And so that will be the end. So now let's write the code for it. So in the previous episode, we had sort. So I'm going to open sort, and then this one was selection sort. The next one we're going to do is going to be called bubble sort. So I'm going to define the function bubble sort. And just like selection sort, is going to take in a number list. Now, just like the previous one, we have to have some helper functions to begin with. So as we know, for bubble sort, it's not finding the smallest number like we did for selection sort, but rather comparing the elements adjacent to it and seeing which one is smaller. So we're going to be calling this bubble up. So what this means is, if it is smaller, then it goes to the beginning, or it goes up. So for this, I'm just going to define a function called bubble up that takes in the number list, the beginning index, and then the ending index. And then from here, for every element in this range from the beginning index to the last index, if the first index, or if the number in the first index, so if a number list with the index I, if this is greater than the number with the second index, or the index higher, or the one next to it, then we're going to switch these two numbers. So basically, the number in the higher index, if that is smaller, we're going to switch these two orders. So basically what this means is right here, for example, if I was 0, right? So if the index was 0, if the number in the first index is greater than the number in the second index, then we're going to switch these two, and it's going to become 1, 5 instead of 5, 1. So that is what we wrote right here. So this is what it means to bubble up. So when do we bubble up? Well, I'm just going to define a helper function for bubble sort like we did with the selection sort. I'm going to name it bubble sort helper, and it's going to take in the number list, the beginning index, and then the ending index. From here, we can see that if the ending index is less than or equal to the beginning index, then we know that this is done, so we can just return the number list. Otherwise, we're going to first bubble up, with the number list and all of this. And then we're going to call the bubble sort helper to do it again. And instead of the beginning index with the ending index, we're going to do the ending index minus 1. This is because we're doing it all the way up to when the ending index is less than or equal to the beginning index. And after this, it is done, so we can just right here, we can return bubble sort. We can return bubble sort helper. And it's going to be the number list, the beginning index is 0, and then the ending index is just the length of the number list minus 1. And we can write a test case. So I'm going to copy down what we had for the selection sort, but instead of doing the selection sort, I'm just going to do the bubble sort. And I'm going to comment this out. So we're not doing that, and we're going to be printing out the sorted list for bubble sort. So I'm going to Command S and then save it, and I'm going to open my terminal, enter the folder with CS practice, and then this is just called sort.py. And then as we can see, we made a mistake in line 58 because we're now, right here, we define it as double sort instead of a bubble sort. So let's run it again. And then before we test it out, we can see that right here for a bubble sort helper, we have to make sure to return the number list. So we actually have stuff to return. Okay, so now that we have this, we can Command S, save it. And then open our terminal, and then I'm going to enter CS practice. And then open this Python 3 file, sort.py. And as we can see, it sorts out our list for us. So as we can see, this is bubble sort, and then this is selection sort. These are two different sort methods, but they should spit out the same answer when we sort the list.